between promotions losing stars and other promotions gaining them, booking decisions that don't add up, wrestling feels a little bit uncoordinated right now. But I'm here to clear all that shit up. Mask Gang, what up? This is the Crimson Mask Show, episode 10. And I'm going to tell you what worked, what didn't work, and what the hell they all need to do about it. Let's get right into it. Over on Raw, we like to talk about something called respect versus belief. Now, we understand that Finn Bálor is to be respected in this wrestling industry. We know that. We know that. First Universal Champion, did a hell of a lot of stuff in New Japan, leader, former, original Bullet Club member. We know Finn Bálor. But Finn Bálor is going to stand the test this upcoming Monday from CM Punk in his world title match in Belfast. Now, here's my issue, because y'all know I always got some kind of issue. I always got a complaint. I always got an issue. I always got something to say about everything. So, do any of us actually believe that WWE is going to put the strap on Finn Bálor? Do any of us actually believe that? I doubt it. I doubt it, unless you have the naive wrestling fan out there that just thinks that they're going to have one of their biggest stars drop the title. You know, that's where the belief comes in. Do you believe that Finn Bálor actually stands a chance? Or do you know that this is just something to put Irish butts in the seats in Belfast? Because you got Irish legend Finn Bálor, Prince Devitt. Do we actually think he's going to win that match? And I'm sorry to tell you, no. Now comes the respect. Finn Bálor very well should be a main eventer. I've been saying it for years. Finn should be in the main event. The way his call up from NXT, him being white hot when he first showed up to the main roster, winning the Universal title, then getting injured. That injury basically derailed his career. And we've seen it on a few occasions where Finn would get the world title match and he will lose. He would just be fodder. And now the last, what is it, guys? Like the last 2 years or so, he's been in the Judgment Day. And the Judgment Day has been very successful. And the Judgment Day has gone through periods of being awesome and periods of being stale. Like they've gone through the whole cycle of emotions and renovations and iterations of the group. But the thing is, from the moment Finn was in it, it kind of just felt like he's been less than. Like he was already demoted to the mid card. That happened a long time ago. And yeah, he'll get his occasional, chance to challenge for the world title here and there. But I don't think any of us ever go into any of those matches believing that Finn Bálor actually has a chance to win a match. And it's going to be no different this upcoming Monday on Raw. And that's why when Finn stepped in the ring, after Liv Morgan basically emasculated him backstage, telling him that we all out going chasing titles. You back here playing 2K. What's really going on? He went out there, he sauntered out there, challenged CM Punk, said that, he's going to have the whole Irish crowd with him. And it was kind of just like, okay, that's cool. But like, it's almost like an exhibition match to me because there's zero chance they're going to put the strap on Finn Bálor. Zero chance. And that sucks because Finn should absolutely get another run in the main event. He should absolutely get another chance to hold the world title. And if he can't get it in WWE, then maybe he needs to go somewhere else and get it, because I'm telling you now, and I'm going to say that you guys know more than anybody that I'm not an AEW stan. I try to be fair in everything and be, and be not partisan to either side in this tribalistic nonsense that goes on. But I do have to admit, Finn Balor will be a hell of an addition to the AEW roster. Now I know what you guys are going to say. You guys are going to say, "Oh, well, Finn, he's going to be what? He's going to be hot for 1 month, 2 months. He's going to join the Don Callis family, or oh, he's going to be there for 2 months, and then they're going to forget he's on the roster." Yeah, that's quite possible, but there's a lot of story to be told with Finn Balor and other wrestlers that are on the AEW roster, other wrestlers that are in New Japan. New Japan itself, there's tons to do that. And I'll tell you who else should go over there. Shinsuke Nakamura should go over there. I've been quietly, and I never want to hate on someone's livelihood or wish down on anybody's livelihood. But I've been saying, oh my God, I wish they would just release Shinsuke Nakamura so he can go to AEW or go back to New Japan Pro Wrestling, because you got two legends just sitting in. Well, Finn Balor's not in catering. Shinsuke definitely is in catering, but you have Finn Balor sitting in the Judgment Day clubhouse goofing off with JD McDonough playing 2K, and you got two New Japan legends just sitting there. AJ Styles is thriving. I ain't even worried about AJ Styles. AJ Styles don't got to be in the world title picture, whatever. But you got two other New Japan legends just sitting there. And man, if they can't get the opportunity to be in the world title picture or have meaningful matches, meaningful storylines attached to their name, then maybe they shouldn't be there. So I mean, that's just how I look at it. But it doesn't seem like Finn Balor is on the cusp of getting some big push. It just seems like they're trying to get a good pop in Belfast for Finn, and then he's just gonna go back to the clubhouse. I find this Adam Pearce, Braun Breakker, wrestler versus authority figure thing going on. I find it quite entertaining and quite interesting, to be quite honest. Um Braun Breaker put his hands on Adam Pearce. Now, I understand that Paul Heyman said that Adam Pearce put his hands on Braun Breaker first, and he kind of hinted that he's going to sue him. He's going to sue him, but you know, let's see where they're going with that. It's interesting. I had a buddy of mine. I was talking to him. I always talk to him at work. The other day, I was talking to him, and he had mentioned to me. Now, I didn't see this. I didn't see this, but I went back to look. He said that something along the lines was said that Adam Pearce said to Braun Breaker, "Who's telling you to do this? Who's telling you to do this?" And there may be a conspiracy afoot, guys. There may be a conspiracy at foot. What is really going on with that? Is there some dark hand pulling the strings behind the scenes? Paul Heyman doesn't know what's going on. And more importantly, Paul Heyman can't control Braun Breaker. He can't control him. I mean, but what else is new? Couldn't control Brock. He couldn't control Roman either. These guys are just powerhouses. They're alpha males. They're not going to listen to a litigator sit there and try to give them direction on what to do. That's just not how this shit works. So I mean, I love a good wrestler versus authority figure storyline. Braun Breaker's a loose cannon. I don't necessarily know where he goes from here after losing the world title match against CM Punk. I do think he has to be one of the favorites to win the Royal Rumble. We'll see what happens there. But I'm a lot more interested in what could particularly be going on behind the scenes, the strings that are being pulled with Braun Breaker. We do know that at some point we're going to get Seth Rollins back after he stops covering the Bears, bear down, baby. After he gets done covering those guys, he's been doing that left and right. He's going to come back and he's going to want his get back on Braun Breaker and the Vision. So I still also think along the lines that Austin Theory may actually be working as an inside agent for Seth Rollins, but we'll see how that goes as well. Yeah, this is super interesting, which is good because I'm telling you, Raw hasn't been that interesting. Raw hasn't been that interesting. To me, SmackDown has had all the juice, all the flavor right now, and Raw needed something. So let's see what happens with this. I don't really, honestly, I don't have any predictions for it. I kind of just need to see what's going to happen in subsequent Mondays to just see where this is going. But I do know it does have my interest. My interest is peaked. You know, as a brief follow up to what I was saying about Finn Balor and Belfast, WWE, okay, I promised a few people that I'm not going to go crazy and drop F bombs left and right this week, but you're going to get an F bomb. You just you never, it's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Like, it depends on how passionate about the segment I get, but, I'm gonna try to keep it cool. I'm gonna try to keep it a little bit cool. But these international crowds. Okay, first and foremost, I think the international crowds are great as far as how they react. Saudi Arabia, I don't really I don't like how the Saudi Arabian crowd acts because in the front row, you have all these people that have disgusting amounts of money, which is cool. They sit in the front row, and usually their reaction is either, or the kids be going crazy. I love that part about it. The kids in the Saudi Arabian crowd be going nuts. But like the rich princes, kings, or whatever, they should be sitting there watching. It's like, okay, I don't really F with this wrestling shit, but and I'm gonna watch it. My kid want to see it, my nephew want to see it. I'm gonna sit and watch it. But the European crowds, oh man, that's a whole different other level. The European crowds be going crazy. They be going crazy, man. But with all that said, I absolutely hate the fact that WWE is going international so much. I mean, it used to be boom, you go to Europe real quick, you come back, you go. It seems like it's almost 50-50 now. They'll go overseas for like X amount of time, come back for X amount of time, go for X amount of time, come back for X amount of time. And mainly it pisses me off because the time keeps changing. Like, I'm sorry, man. Look, I've been programmed for this shit for 25 plus years. I like watching my Raw, my SmackDown, 7, 8 o'clock at night. That's what time I'm used to watching. I've been watching it like that since I was a kid. This shit coming on at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. That shit is just way too early, bro. People got lives, people got jobs. The kids is gonna be at home. The kids will be able to watch, wrestling early and get to bed on time. Good on them. But last I checked, I got gray in my beard and shit. I ain't no little ass kid. I got a damn job. I got a kid. I'm trying to watch that shit when I get home from work. I ain't trying to get home from work. I'm scrolling. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook or whatever. And I'm on X and I'm just seeing fucking spoilers up there. It is the F bomb. I'm seeing effing spoilers just left and right talking about, oh yeah, this person just won the title. Oh yeah, this mystery person just showed up. I'm not trying to see that, bro. I'm not trying to see that. But yeah, outside of that, the international crowds are great. And the Germany reaction these past weeks, the London reaction was pretty great. And they fans definitely come out to support, and it gives energy to the shows. It gives energy to the shows, and you can't help but love it. Another important thing, WWE and WWE that happened this week on SmackDown in particular. Look, y'all gonna say I'm glazing, man. Y'all gonna say I'm glazing, but look, bro, it can't be said enough. It can't fucking be said enough. I'm gonna drop F bomb. I'm gonna say it. It can't fucking be said enough. Trick Williams is a goddamn megastar, bro. He's a goddamn megastar. Now, I thought this is gonna happen. I thought this was gonna happen. in no realm of possibility that I think he was going to get over this quick. Did you hear that London crowd react to Trick Williams? Whoop that Trick. Whoop that. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Oh, no, 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 no. If you thought that was it, not only did he get that electric entrance in London, he beat Matt Cardona in his qualifying match. So now he's going to get to be in the number one contenders match, which I have a problem with that. I have a problem with WWE constantly putting two people who shouldn't be losing at this period of time against each other. I don't like that shit. But anyway, he beat Matt Cardona. And do you think that was it? No, 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 no. Then he stood tall at the end of the show after hitting Sami Zayn with the trick shot. God damn. God damn. Trick ain't waste no time. Trick, okay. Trick been there what? 3-4 weeks? Trick showed up backstage. He's interrupting stars that's supposed to be bigger than him. He came out. He told Sami Zayn, shut the fuck up. You're bitching too much. I'm Trick Willie. I'm taking your spot. You old news. I'm new news. He showed up, told Randy Orton, I'm Trick Willie. I respect you, but I'm coming for your spot. Trick Williams, Trick and A coming for your spot. Got RKO'd, but you know what else happened after that? Randy Orton pointed at him. He said, I like you. He got the rub from Randy. Now, Trick then came out, got over with the crowd, beat Matt Cardona, stood tall at the end of the show, and he's getting to be in the number one contenders match, which I'm pretty damn certain he's not going to win. But him being in the match itself is a huge step. And I'm going to tell y'all what else, man, because I listen to all y'all, man. When those of y'all who talk to me, those of y'all who ride with me, I ride with y'all. So you never know if you watch my show, if you subscribe to my long short shows here on the Crimson Mask Show channel, if you subscribe to my shorts on Crimson Mask Pro Wrestling, you know, I will bring what you guys say to me. If it's riveting, if it's relevant, if y'all say something to me in the comments or anything, I will bring it to this show. I will talk about you on this show, not in a negative way, but in a way to keep up the conversation and to give you props for being a supporter. Now, I was talking to somebody in the comments to my Trick Williams video being a breakout star over on TikTok. And he was saying that, Femi is probably going to get over too. Now, let me tell you my opinions on Femi versus Trick Williams, which it don't got to be an adversarial thing at all. It could be both of them could succeed. There's room for both of them. And I'm going to tell y'all who there's no more room for in a second. Trick Williams, Femi. Femi has the size, he has the look, he has the moveset, he has the in-ring chops, which I could tell you right now, if I had to decide who has better in-ring abilities between Femi and Trick Williams, I probably have to lean Oba, because the formula to Oba is pretty simple. It's the same type of formula you get from guys like Roman, you get from guys like this version of Brock Lesnar. Don't say the original Brock Lesnar, because the original Brock Lesnar was doing all kinds of shit. But this version of Brock Lesnar, power guy, I'm gonna hit you, boom, 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 boom. I'm indestructible, blah, 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 blah. Trick Williams is more of like, really, and I feel like the comparison is lazy because they both tall black dudes with dreads that use the bookend. Booker T. Booker T was not in the ring doing one-winged angels and tope suicidas and all that. He was not doing all that. Booker T was just go in, do the moves, do the taunts, all that shit. That was Booker T. So I feel like that's a good comparison. But the thing that's going to separate Trick Williams and Femi is that Trick Williams might have a top 1% mic skills. I shit you not. I don't even think this is the fully defined, the fully refined version of Trick Williams on the microphone. Trick Williams could get better. I still think, believe it or not, I still think Trick Williams is working through the nerves when he cut promos on SmackDown because he'll stumble a little bit there, but he's so good on the microphone that he could bounce right back. So that's what separates Trick and Obafemi. Now, here's another thing, and I'm gonna be completely honest. The African gimmick does not have a long shelf life in WWE. It doesn't. If you look back on history, what you end up seeing is that these guys that come in and they have the African accent, the accent within the first few years is gone. It's gone. Kofi Kingston had a Jamaican accent. That shit ran its course. It's gone. Apollo Crews didn't have the accent. Then he started doing the accent. And then that shit ran its course and he stopped doing the accent. I don't know if you guys watched NXT long enough, you will see that the way Obafemi talks, that is not the way he talks. Like, and my boy Petey Stunt said he don't never want to hear that shit again. Well, Petey Stunt, I got news for you. You gonna hear that shit again because you gonna hear that shit again because they've not finna have Obafemi run with no African accent his whole career when that ain't his regular accent. I'm sorry to tell you. I'm sorry to tell you. That's not gonna happen. Um Obafemi is gonna come in, he's gonna have the African accent, he's gonna say, "You do not want to match with me. I am the ruler." He's gonna do all that shit, and then a year down the line, 2 years down the line, he's gonna be like, "I'm Obafemi. You can't challenge me. I am great." Like it's just gonna slowly fade away, and he's gonna be just doing his regular professional accent. And Trick ain't gotta change. Trick is gonna always stay the same. Trick is just gonna keep riding. So I feel like that's what separates them. Is that Trick Williams got the gift of gab. Obafemi will be hard pressed to reach the level of Trick Williams on the microphone. I'm sorry. That's just the truth of it. Another thing, and this is a side note, man. And y'all, I know my WWE fans. I know probably the most of my audience. You know, I'm not even gonna say that, man. Scratch that, because I hate to say this, man. If this hurt y'all feelings, I'm sorry. AEW fans is more loyal to shit like my content and other people's content, like that do this shit. They more loyal than WWE fans. I'm sorry to say they more loyal to their own brand. Like, I'm gonna be honest. So what I'm about to say is probably gonna piss off my WWE people. But Montez Ford might as well go ahead and pack his shit up, man, and go ahead and move on to AEW, man. He might as well pack his shit up and move to Jacksonville, dog. He might as well pack his shit up. Because now now the African NXT is starting to rise up to the main roster. I hate to say it, and I'm not one of them, "Oh, Triple H is racist." I'm not one of them people, but if you have so many people doing the same shit that you're doing, there won't be room for you to be the best version of yourself. If you have, okay, Jay Uso, Trick Williams, Carmelo Hayes, Javon Evans, take those four people, right? Now, when you take all four of those wrestlers, what do you need Montez Ford for? Because they were talking about him getting a singles run. They were talking about him getting a singles run. And every time they talked about it, he's disappeared from TV and he's come back. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know where the Street Profits are. I don't know what they're doing with the Street Profits. According to the dirt sheets, they're not injured. So I don't know what's going on. It seemed like they were going towards a breakup and they're going to get solo runs. I think I've all but lost hope for that shit. I've all but lost hope for it. Montez Ford, if done right, could be as big of, if not bigger, of a star in AEW than Swerve Strickland. And a lot of people, now my AEW people, they not going to want to agree with that right now because Montez Ford is not currently in AEW. So it's basically me saying putting a WWE guy over an AEW guy. But this is not that. This is also me remembering a couple years ago how one of the producers in AEW said himself that if Montez Ford got the opportunity, he would be one of the biggest stars in pro wrestling. That's not me saying that. That's somebody who works for AEW that said that. So, and I agree with it. The thing with him in WWE is that now I feel like he's been backed into two corners. Two corners. And it's supposed to be about Trey Williams, but it didn't span off into Montez Ford. Whatever. He can either keep being a tag team wrestler with Angelo Dawkins, and they could struggle to win tag team titles, or they could let him go solo, and his gimmick will have to be almost like a religious zealot type. Because what I've noticed, he start cutting promos where he'll be like, "I pray to the Lord," like because I feel like those are the only two lanes he could go right now. He can't go. I'm sorry, he can't go with the cocky black GQ wrestler because now you got four different people doing some version of Montez Ford. Like you got Javon Evans, high flying, Montez Ford, which Montez Ford at one point was the high flying athletic black guy. Then you got Trick Williams, you know, Trick Williams fucking looks like $1 million. You know, he represents the culture. Now him and Montez Ford, that would be doing too much. It wouldn't be doing too much for me, but I'm just talking about in the space of two people having similar characters. Then you got, who else did I mention? You got Carmelo Hayes. That's two guys who comes out looking like $1 million. And unlike Montez Ford, Carmelo Hayes has already won. That's a damn shame. That's a damn shame. Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams have already had more success than Montez Ford. Let me repeat that. Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams have already had more success than Montez Ford. Because at the end of the day, what does Montez Ford have next to his name? A couple of tag team championship wins. We talking about between Trick Williams and between Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes, they got multiple NXT champion reigns, North American championship reigns, a TNA championship reign, and now US title championship reign. And Trick Williams is getting a number one contenders match. Like, it's sad actually. And I'm sorry, man, but if I was in Montez Ford's position, I understand his wife is one of the biggest stars in WWE. I understand that, but you know what? So is Rhea Ripley, and her man is in AEW. So if I was Montez Ford, honestly, I'll have a talk with Bianca, and I'll be like, look, I need to go do this over here, because it's going to be what's best for our family in the long run. Like, do not just sit there and let them play in your fucking face, Montez, and sit there and just, not give you storylines worthy of your character and your abilities, bro. There's already ready-made shit in AEW for you. I already thought of the storylines of AEW. I already thought about you showing up being the newest member of the Hurt Business or the Hurt Syndicate or whatever. Whatever. You're going to hurt people. Take your ass over there and hurt people. Back to the crowd. They was on fire for Drew McIntyre, weren't they? They was on fire for Drew McIntyre. You couldn't tell them shit about Drew. He came out with the bang pipes and all that shit. He came out, he looked like $1 million. Came to the ring. Yeah, I was laughing. I was telling Petey Stunt. I said, Drew McIntyre bitched and complained and bitched and complained and bitched and complained all that time about not getting title opportunities, not winning the title, bitching about Cody Rhodes. He wins the title, And he's still bitching. He's still bitching. After all that stuff, he's still bitching. He's still crying and complaining. He got the title on his shoulders like, yeah, you didn't believe in me. You didn't believe in me. I had to go through. Where were you when the refs was screwing me over? Where were you when Cody Rhodes was sitting there screwing me over in every match? Where were you when the bloodline was jumping me? He was just sitting there just, doing his Drew McIntyre shit and, crying with the belt over his shoulders. And then Jacob Fatu came out there and Jacob Fatu tried to give him the business. Jacob Fatu tried to give him the business. Then later that night, because this is about the crowd. This ain't so much about Drew McIntyre than it is about that hot London crowd. Then Cody came out there and they were booing the shit out of him. They were booing, boo. Everybody, what do you want to talk about? Boo. Drew McIntyre, he's a bad guy. Boo. They were booing the shit out of Cody until Cody said that London should get a WrestleMania. Then all of a sudden, there's, yeah, Cody, American Nightmare. It was ridiculous. It was like, that's all he had to say for y'all to just flip the switch and start cheering the man. Like Daniel Bryan used to say when he was a heel in WWE. Fickle. I'm gonna talk more about this later, but let's touch real quick on Carmelo Hayes versus Leon Slater. That was an amazing match. That match was fucking awesome. It was great match. Two young stars putting on the show. I don't know what Carmelo Hayes did to Leon Slater at the end of that match. The off the rope RKO, I don't know what that was. I don't think he could necessarily pull that move off against anybody. Leon Slater, Javon Evans, I think those type of guys are perfect for him to go against and do those type of moves. But goddamn, that was a great match. But here's the problem. Did you have to take Leon Slater from TNA during the week they debuted their new show on AMC? Did you have to do that? See, because when you do shit like that, it starts to be a little indefensible that maybe this relationship with TNA is one-sided. Because, I try to defend against it here and there, but it's hard to do that when you're taking one of TNA's biggest stars, bringing him over because he's from London. I don't know if he's from London, but he's from over there. You take him, you bring him over there so he can get that. And here's the fucked up part. Leon Slater didn't even get the biggest pop of the night. He didn't get a pop as big as, obviously, understandably so. He didn't get a big as pop as Drew McIntyre. He didn't get a big of a pop as Trick Williams. So y'all took him from TNA's debut episode to London so he can get this big reaction from the crowd, have this big match with Carmelo Hayes. He gets a what do we want to say? Lukewarm pop? Gets a lukewarm pop from the crowd, puts on an amazing match, but he wasn't at TNA during. WWE completely telegraphed that he's the next guy on the list that they plan to take from TNA. They completely telegraphed it. And in turn, and I'm going to say more about this later, in turn, why would TNA, here's what blows my mind. You go on X, you go on these social media platforms, and they're all like, oh, WWE he was supposed to fight Myron Reed at TNA on their debut episode, but Myron Reed went to AEW, so they put Leon Slater from the debut episode of TNA and let him go to London and WWE to have his. That's stupid. TNA, that's dumb. Why? It doesn't matter if he's not fighting Myron Reed. Find somebody fucking else. WWE, I guarantee you, their deal that they have, WWE cannot force TNA to have Leon Slater leave and go do a match on SmackDown. I guarantee it. WWE can't force them to do that. That means that TNA allowed it to happen. And it's like, come on now, TNA, man. I'm going to get more on TNA in a second. I'm going to get on TNA in a second. You better believe it. You better believe it. Why would y'all let that happen? That's stupid. He's one of your biggest stars. That's your debut episode on AMC, and you're going to let him go to London to wrestle on SmackDown? Why would you do that? And I'm not going to get into it. I don't know if TNA is pre-recorded or what. All I know is that he wasn't on that fucking episode, but he was on SmackDown. So, yeah, there you have it. Great match. Leon Slater, Carmelo Hayes, but TNA dropped the ball on that one. Over on Dynamite, AEW has been missing, and this is going to seem like more glazing. So what? AEW has been missing a galvanizing force. Somebody with so much gravitas that they could just bring all these broken, confusing, mismatched parts in AEW and make it one solid spear. And that person is Kenny Omega. AE doesn't. AE doesn't. all right. AEW does not need creativity when it has its ace. And its ace is not John Moxley. No, its ace is Kenny fucking Omega. And you fucking forget it. Don't you forget it. Don't you forget it. The minute Kenny Omega is able to be on consecutive episodes of Dynamite, a consecutive constant presence on AEW prestige begins to bubble up and rise again. That's what Kenny Omega does. Has Kenny Omega lost a step? Probably yes. It's been dropped on his neck 1 billion times. Yes, but we all know who Kenny Omega is. Kenny Omega is the goddamn best bout machine. God damn it. And you better believe it. You better remember it. So when you got Swerve and you got Hangman sitting up there, pumping their chest, trying to talk about how they're going to go after MJF, they're going to win the AEW World title. You get Kenny Omega out there, Kenny Omega going to set the shit straight because you good as hell. You a cowboy, but God damn it, I'm the best bout machine. And that's what Kenny Omega does. So Kenny Omega put those motherfuckers on notice, man. And Kenny Omega in his nice guy, his nice Canadian guy way, he informs them politely that he will be the one who will pursue the title and that he plans and he hopes that he wins the title. Now, if I had it my way, we would get the cleaner. The cleaner would clean that shit up. But you know what? If we got to take nice guy Kenny, so be it. We'll take nice guy Kenny. We'll take whatever version of Kenny Omega we could get. It's crowded. It's kind of crowded. Kind of. Being crowded is a good thing, though, if you think about it. Attitude Era was crowded. You got MJF, you got Kenny Omega, you got Swerve Strickland, you got Hangman Page. I guess you might still have Samoa Joe. He still might be involved in there somewhere. You got all these guys vying for the top spot. Same thing going on in WWE to a degree. But WWE don't got Kenny Omega. And I know it's going to piss some of y'all off. Oh, yeah, man, fuck Kenny Omega. He's whatever. WWE don't got Kenny Omega. I wish WWE had. I wish AEW and WWE could have Kenny Omega, but only one can have Kenny Omega. And I definitely want that title to end up around Kenny Omega's waist. I'm not even finna lie to y'all. And I love MJF. I think he's great. To me, he's one of the true pillars of AEW. They had that goofy shit way back, like during the early days of AEW, talking about the 4 pillars. Who was MJF, Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, Jungle Boy. I can make the argument that MJF is the last remaining pillar. And I understand Darby Allin is still fucking popular, but when I look at guys like, okay, multiple time champion, I just don't see Darby Allin like that. I think Darby Allin is good in the lane he's in, getting into personal beefs and depth-defying matches with other wrestlers. But yeah, man, the real pillars of AEW. And I ain't talking about like, oh, you're homegrown, so you're a pillar. I'm talking about the people that without them, AEW wouldn't function. The pillars of AEW are actually probably three of the people involved in this. Honestly, MJF, Swerve Strickland, Kenny Omega, to be honest, Tony Storm. To be honest, those are the four pillars of AEW. And if you want to add a fifth pillar, John Moxley. Those are the people that if they disappear from AEW today, AEW would descend into nothingness. If those people just up and disappear from AEW. And that's just the honest truth. You know what? Speaking of MJF, he had a match with Bandido. He defeated Bandido for the AEW title to retain his AEW title. And then MJF uncharacteristically gave Bandido props after he beat him. And yeah, he beat his ass after he gave him props because he said, you know what? You so good that I'm going to have to eliminate you. Yeah, he did that. But that's not what I want to talk about. Brody King came out after that beating. And once again, and I hate to be a broken record, I hate to be the dead horse, but once again, AEW can't book right. AEW don't have the creative chops to do something that's obvious. When Brody King came out there after that match, I felt like Brody King should have fucking decimated Bandido. He should have fucking destroyed him in the ring, took him to the outside of the ring, put him through a fucking table. That's what Brody King should have did. And then when he had the opportunity to explain why he did it, he should have said, you promised me that you would win that AEW World title and you would give me a shot in the opportunity at that title. And now, because of you, I don't know when I'm going to get that opportunity. Mm-hmm. And yeah, he could still get the opportunity, but this would have hit harder. This would have hit way harder. It would have been way more personal. Yeah, I don't need the AEW has 10 billion tag teams. They could spare one. They could spare one. For the sake of a good storyline, they could spare one. I would have had Brody King absolutely destroy Bandido, and I would have had them feud for most of this year. That's what I would have done. And before you say, oh, it don't make sense, Bandido, he lost, but that shouldn't. Here's the thing. When have wrestlers ever had sound logic when giving you a reason for why they did something? It doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't look, no, Bandido didn't promise he was winning the title. But the fact is, I'm Brody King. I got my fucking hopes up. You lost. You couldn't get the job done. And now I'll probably have to wait in the back of the line because all these other guys are challenging MJF. But you specifically told me that you were going to give me a shot. And maybe AEW still does that. I mean, it's still early, but I'm telling you, he should destroy him right after that match because there's nothing better than a tag team partner destroying his partner after he already had a match. But yeah, man, he definitely should have did that. But once again, Tony Khan didn't know what the fuck he was doing. Okay, man. How much time I got left? TNA. Okay. Let me break down what I'm about to say. That production was fucking brutal. It was fucking brutal. And there's a lot of moving parts to this, okay? You got JD from New York, who I'm not gonna say nothing about that. JD from New York going back and forth with Moose. Moose telling guys like us, wrestling content creators, people who've invested multiple decades of fandom towards the art of professional wrestling, that basically we shouldn't have an opinion because we ain't professional wrestlers. Fuck that. I'm gonna talk my shit. Look, that production was fucking brutal. And the greatest, most loyal TNA fan can't sit here with a straight fucking face and tell you, oh yeah, TNA's debut episode, it was great. Everything looked great. Everything was perfect. Like, where do I start? The first thing, before I start shitting on stuff, let me give credit where credit is due. The wrestlers, I appreciate their energy. I appreciate their enthusiasm. I appreciate their in-ring abilities that they displayed on the debut episode of TNA on AMC. That's where my compliments end, because it's still okay for you guys to be working with WWE. I'm having a hard time understanding why the production still looks like shit. For you guys to be on a network like AMC, I'm having a hard time understanding why the production looked like shit. For you guys to know this was coming up so far in advance, I have a hard time understanding why the production looked like shit. I have a hard time understanding that. Now, I also have a hard time understanding why there were so many technical difficulties with the in-ring, talking on the microphone, everything. I have a hard time understanding that. I have a hard time understanding the celebrity segment where you had a bunch of social media presences, Jakara Jackson, which I still don't know her name in TNA, but I'm gonna call it Jakara Jackson. Jakara Jackson and Candice Michelle. I didn't understand the connection between all of those parties. I didn't understand that. Then I didn't understand why, if you look behind them in that segment, all you see are empty fucking seats. Left, empty seats to the right, empty seats to the left, empty seats everywhere, empty fucking seats. Something you should have went out of your way to make sure is not seen on camera. I have a hard time understanding that. I have a hard time understanding Ryan Namath trying to punk the social media guys at ringside. I have a hard time understanding that. I have a hard time, bro. The only thing I could take away from that show is that I'm hoping and I'm praying that it gets better week to week to week. I expect it to get better week to week to week, because somebody somewhere had to say, man, guys, this production did not look good. We need to clean it up. We need to keep building until it looks better. Honestly, the stuff I've seen from AAA has looked better. And I know there's a difference. WWE owns AAA. So they have a reason and investment to put the resources into AAA for AAA to look good. TNA, I don't know. Maybe they need to deepen their relationship with WWE if it means improving their production. I mean, they're already giving away their stars to WWE and AEW. So why not? Why not? Then, then that's just the production. I don't want to talk out of my ass too much here. I don't want to talk out of my ass too much. You come away with, okay, so on your debut episode on the new network, your biggest surprises is Sonya Deville, Daria Ray, whatever. But for the sake of my memory, Sonya Deville and freaking Cora Jade, Elena Black, that's your big surprise. That's your big reveal on your debut episode on the new network. Like, and with all due respect to both of them, because I like Sonya Deville and I like Elena Black. I like both of them, but the fact of the matter is, like, neither one of them were big stars outside of TNA. Then they show up and it's like, we're supposed to suspend belief and just say, oh man, they got a huge signing. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like this whole debut episode is probably just like a fucking disaster, to be honest. I feel like they had a lot of things planned that they probably had to scrap. I feel like they probably did sign some bigger names, but it probably hadn't gotten across the finish line in time to be on date, because this can't be it. This can't be it. TNA can't start like this. TNA was finally getting to a place where they weren't being the butt of jokes. But now I feel like they've done an about face and slowly started to walk back to the ass crack of humor. Like, what's going on here? They need to figure something out, man. And I'm hoping that the second episode of Impact on AMC is a hell of a lot better than this past week's episode. I'm going to be tuning in, and I hope I see some improvement. One thing I did love about TNA's debut on AMC is AJ Styles. And just by his presence, just by his actions, just by the things he said and did, I think that we're going to get one last AJ Styles with the TNA championship run. I think we're going to get one more championship run with AJ Styles in TNA. I don't know because if you let Trick Williams get a run with it, why not let AJ Styles get a run with it? AJ Styles could pull double duty, I'm sure. We're going to see what AJ Styles is doing after this feud with Gunther that I don't expect him to come out on top of. But I think it's emotional, it's historical. I think his last run should be in TNA. If he's truly not going to wrestle again, he needs to end where it all started. End in TNA. I know the TNA fans will love it. Hell, I think the WWE fans will even love it. If he just goes over there and he does his thing on his way out, I think that'll be huge for him and huge for TNA. Just the way he looked at that title while Kazarian was holding it. Yeah, I think it's going to happen. I want it to happen. TNA probably really does need AJ Styles because they've made their main event scene. I'll be completely honest. I can't name 5 main eventers in TNA. Mike Santana, Kazarian. Who else? Now, keep in mind, for the most part, I have decent working knowledge of TNA. But for the most part, I'm a casual when it comes to TNA. I'm not the biggest TNA guy. You ask me about TNA, I'm going to start talking about Samoa Joe, Abyss, AJ Styles. I'm going to start talking about old TNA because that's my knowledge of TNA. This new TNA, I don't know. I know they got Nick Nemeth over there. That would be another one of their main. But my whole point is that just like NXT, TNA's main event scene is really thin. It's really thin. And I think that's actually the benefit of WWE and TNA's relationship is that I really do think that that main event scene needs to be like worked through between both companies because neither one of them have a strong main event scene. WWE, the main roster literally just took most of the main event guys from NXT. TNA has a couple guys that all their main eventers in TNA are all guys that are like older. So like they don't have a main event scene. And like that's leaving their roster exposed because I don't care what you say. Your promotion is only as good as your main event. And not trying to shit on Mike Santana, but for the most part, people remember him as a tag team wrestler. And he's still working his way towards being taken serious as a singles competitor. They just need more people in their main event scene, man. I mean, I don't know how many different ways I could say it. That's what they need. I'm gonna wrap our last segment today all together. I'm gonna make it all tie together. And if you've seen it on the thumbnail, this might be why you came here. Are we 100% sure? Are we 100% sure that WWE, AEW, and TNA aren't, I don't want to say working together. I don't want to say working together. I feel like that's a little too strong. Working together would suggest that, you know, they have like a talent sharing deal. And that's not what I want to say. Are we sure that things aren't becoming more amicable between WWE and AEW because there's a lot of movement right now. There's a lot of movement between wrestlers who are with AEW, with WWE, associated with AEW, associated with TNA. Like, there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of moving parts. I mean, we could start with the fact that Tony Khan has been a lot less heavy-handed in his criticism and his discontent with WWE lately. Um, Guys are moving between promotions, like 90-day no complete clauses are gone. Will Hobbs allegedly is going to WWE. He's not going to have a 90-day no compete clause. I don't think Tony Khan does them. I think Tony Khan's method of flexing his muscle is like just keeping you under contract, extending your contract because of injury, keeping you off TV. I don't think he's a big no 90-day no complete clause like WWE. I don't think that. It's completely weird to me that the Rascalz, their contract expired, they just went straight to AEW. I mean, it's either that or maybe I'm just used to the WWE way of making people wait 90 days before they can go somewhere. So maybe that's just me. But something's fishy, man. Something's real fishy. And that's before I even get to the whole Warner Brothers thing and HBO Max and WWE and it's just a lot of shit, bro. Like ESPN giving awards to AEW, even though they do their PLEs on ESPN for WWE. That's a weird wrinkle. Netflix having Raw, but Netflix also owning Warner Brothers. So now Netflix, who shows Raw and also now owns Warner Brothers, who's in control of HBO Max, where AEW that airs Dynamite. Like it's a lot of moving parts, and I'm not saying they working together. I'm just saying that like maybe they hate each other less than they used to. Maybe you can now get Triple H and Tony Khan in the same room and it could be a pleasant conversation about business instead of just like, oh, you called us what Tony Khan called WWE? Harvey Weinstein or some shit like that. Like, I don't know, man. We'll see. Is it coincidence? Is it strategy? Is it soft cooperation? If I had to pick one, Eileen is more likely to be soft cooperation starting to form between these promotions. All right, y'all. I'm not saying it's a group chat between the three companies, but I'm saying it's a group chat. You know, wrestling always tells on itself. Right now, the timing feels intentional, the movement feels coordinated, and the companies that adapt fastest are going to own 2026. This is the last episode. That's it, y'all. That's it for episode 10. I'll catch you guys later. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Shorts coming all week. Check us out over on Crimson Mask Pro Wrestling. This is the Crimson Mask Show. I'm out of here.
I'm so tired. What am I going to do?
Quick shout out to our sponsor, W Energy. If you need focus without the sugar crash, this is that clean energy option. No jitters, no weird aftertaste. I use it when I'm ending or recording late. If you want to try it, use my code MFG DeeZ. That's MFG DeeZ at the checkout. Appreciate W for supporting the show. Now let's get back to this wrestling content.
Numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. I got this you can't buy. Numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. all talk, no substance. Putting up points but your team ain't winning. On a team full of losers, you think you winning. Right. That ain't winning. Lie. I got this, you can't buy. Number don't lie, number don't lie. Number don't lie, number don't lie. Numbers don't lie, numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie, numbers don't lie. I got this, you can't buy. Numbers don't lie, numbers don't lie. I be trying to tell all you hate niggas, I got this, you can't buy. All they gotta do is look at the scoreboard. Numbers don't lie. I'm putting up points, I'm outscoring haters. I'm getting these papers, I'm pulling these scores, I'm counting these racks, I'm writing these checks to account on hiatus. Grinding all day, I don't take a lunch. Wanna jump on the double dutch. But say I changed, ask me if I give a I'm about to hit the game with a uppercut. Numbers don't lie. Know what I'm talking about? I got a bad habit, got a bad habit. And they on my couch and they making out. I got a white that put in work and she take a bump and she breaking out. My cash like that, caking out. If really wanted it, gotta get it by any means. He gotta get it. If nigga don't hate, let the nigga hate, cause the nigga hating, cause the nigga can't go and get it. Not a dope boy or a G. Just watch how I make moves, y'all gon' see. You sitting at home and you hating on me while I'm sitting on the throne where you wanna be. Lie. I got this, you can't buy. Number don't lie, number don't lie. Number don't lie, number don't lie. Numbers don't lie, numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie, numbers don't lie. I got this, you can't buy. Numbers don't lie, numbers don't lie. Don't stand in the way of a man on a mission. I'm getting this money, I'm getting this money. How you living? You living deficient, I'm living sufficient, efficient officially. I might go to Italy and take a with me and take pics of her with my in her. Your relationship is history. She want a rich, she don't want a broke. Money make her come around her panties soap. I be getting paid for the very minute that I won't. Get money, what's the first two words I spoke? Wait, you making me rich, got my name in your mouth just like a beer. Flipping this money like flipping the switch. Getting this money my niche. In God I trust, I gotta go hard, this grind is boom or bust. I am on my shit, what don't get flush. Got the game in the camel clutch. Hey, don't feel my lane. I will run over anybody in my way on the road to a life of fame. If you can't hustle when you don't know struggle, ain't sacrifice too lame. Like Spirit, you're a disco hero while I'm on a different plane. Lie. I got this, you can't buy. Number don't lie, number don't lie. Number don't lie, number don't lie.